What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Marley coming to with another video. Here to give my review for the brand new Marvel Studios Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, before we get into it, if y'all could please leave a like and subscribe, that means a lot to me. Thank you guys for tuning in. And now let's get on with the review. So Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is essentially Rocket Raccoon's movie. The plot of this movie is that the High Evolutionary, who is Rocket's creator, is back and he wants to take what's his, which is Rocket. And so the Guardians are out to help and save and defend Rocket. And let me tell y'all, I really enjoyed this movie. Now, I know the last few Marvel movies have been, sort of lackluster. Well, mainly Phase 4. I feel like right after Shang-Chi and Spider-Man No Way Home, all the Marvel movies have been, definitely hit or miss. And then especially the Disney Plus shows. But this was such a refreshing take, mainly because Kevin Feige let James Gunn do his thing, and you can totally tell it was in great care. I love Rocket's character since the first time I saw him. Okay, before he appeared in the MCU, I already loved raccoons. I just think they're amazing animals. They're hella cute. And I've always said I wanted to have one as a pet. That's how badly in love with them I am. And so the first movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket Raccoon, voiced by Bradley Cooper, he was such a great character. Like, I truly loved him. And I feel like ever since that first movie, he's just had amazing stories. Every time he's in a movie, like, he always has, somewhat of a pivotal role to be in. Guardians 2 he was just as great. And then he had a big role in Infinity War and Endgame. And it just made me love this character more and more. And I have no doubt he's one of the best characters in the MCU. For me personally, I'm going to say he's my third favorite. Spider-Man is my favorite character of all time. MCU, it does not matter. Tony Stark, obviously Iron Man number 2. And then Rocket. Rocket is he's just the best, especially in this movie. I mean, we've seen the scenes from the trailers, and then if you watch the movie, all his origin scenes are just truly, truly heartbreaking and heartwarming. Just to see him as a little baby, it made me tear up. And yeah, we got to see him grow and how he was captured and what they did to him, the High Evolutionary. This movie was truly emotional. I don't know how many times I cried, / got teary-eyed. And I wasn't the only one. I was not the only one, because I heard a bunch of sniffs throughout my movie theater. And it kind of sucked, because like I said, he actually puts like a hit on him. And so basically Rocket is out for at least maybe more than half the movie. And so the Guardians are trying to save his life. They're trying to capture this device or antidote that can help save Rocket's life. And so basically the Guardians' adventure starts from there. In the beginning, we're introduced to the brand new character, Adam Warlock. Now, he was teased in Guardians 2. He was in a cocoon at the end. And I gotta say, I really liked his character. I know a lot of people probably didn't like his character at all, because he's basically a big dumb baby. But I kind of compare him to Vision. I'm not saying Vision was a big dumb baby when it first appeared in Age of Ultron, but in the sense that he was literally just created, basically like the day before or the day of. And so in this movie, the High Evolutionary actually opened up his cocoon early. And so he sends Adam Warlock to go capture Rocket. He actually put something in his heart that, basically is killing him. He's played wonderfully by Will Poulter, who I actually really do like as an actor. Can't wait to see more of him, because as my understanding, he's a big character in the Marvel Comics. So I can't wait to see what they do with him in the future. The rest of the Guardians, though, I mean, I feel like they're great every time we see them. Just the dynamic between them, the interactions, they're all great. Chris Pratt as Star-Lord. I think this is probably my favorite portrayal of him in a movie. He just brought it. He's just a wreck after Gamora, because obviously Gamora does not remember him from the events of Infinity War. Endgame? Yeah. I forgot, man. But obviously his Gamora died, and we got a new one, which is the one from the past. And so she doesn't have the memories of her and Star-Lord. And so he's still coping with that. And then Gamora, she's actually now the leader of the Ravagers. And so we get Drax. Drax is Drax. I kind of like Drax, kind of don't, because it kind of sucks that I never got to actually see like that side of him. In this movie, everyone has their moments for sure, but I still feel like I'm not seeing that destroyer side of him. Dave Bautista is becoming such a great talent, such a great actor, and he brings it. He definitely has all those comedic moments, and Drax is funny, but sometimes I just feel like they dumb him down a bit. And this one, he wasn't as bad because James Gunn gave everyone a moment to shine, and Drax definitely did have his moments, which I'm happy I saw. But yeah, I just his character was kind of hit or miss for me throughout the course of this trilogy and Avengers movies. Mantis was great. She's becoming more and more likable. She's very sweet, a little bit like Drax, but she's still a nice addition to this team. Cosmo the dog. Cosmo was so cute. I love the whole banter between him and Raglan. I never really knew who Cosmo was. I mean, I knew he was a dog, and yeah, they race swapped him, I guess, in this movie. I had no problem because, like I said, I wasn't familiar with Cosmo, but yeah, like she was really powerful. She had some cool like psychic telekinetic powers. Not too sure what the power set was, and yeah, Kraglin was cool. He's still kind of struggling because Yondu passed, so he doesn't really know how to use the power set, and so he's struggling with that. At the end of it, he finally uses it because the time for a hero moment came, and yeah, it's kind of a good arc, And Yondu made an appearance. And before I kind of continue, I just want to remind y'all this is a spoiler review, so spoilers ahead. And then Nebula was great. I feel like they kind of softened her up a bit. I feel like in every fight scene that she was in, she got her butt kicked. She got dismantled, something broke, and she had to like reassemble herself. So I was like, why did they do that? Still definitely a badass. But yeah, I mean, these are the main characters, and like I said, them together is great. I love the interactions. I love the dynamic. It sucks that we might not see them together again, but as an ending, I truly love this ending for them. And I definitely got to give props to the High Evolutionary. Ooh, especially the actor. Oh my god. Like this villain you truly, truly hated. Like he wasn't like Thanos where you're like, all right, I see where he's coming from. I understand. You gotta snap half the people in the universe. We understand. But yeah, this guy was just truly, truly sick and evil, and I hated him. I really loved what he brought to the role, though. The line that he gave, that there is no God, so I stepped in. Like that just kind of told me everything I needed to know about him. He grabbed Rocket at an early age, and Rocket just exceeded expectations. And Rocket is just very knowledgeable, and so he was just truly amazed by that until Rocket escaped. And part of his origin, he had three friends. He had Teefs, Lila, and Floor. Floor was a bunny, Teefs was a walrus, and Lila was an otter. And oh my god, their dynamic was just beautiful. At the end of their story, they were making a run for it, and Lila got shot, and then the other two got shot as well by misfire trying to kill Rocket because Rocket was going ham on them. And Rocket was able to escape, but it was just truly sad. You get to see them again because Rocket kind of dies for a second, for a minute, and he wants to go back. He wants to be with them again, but Lila was like, "But you're not ready yet. You still have purpose here." That medicine antidote was on this like kind of like weird living organism planet, and that whole that whole area was just funny. And we actually get Gamora out here to help them get that antidote for Rocket. And so the dynamic between Star-Lord and Gamora was funny because he's still really can't accept it, and he's just basically calling her a douche and an ass because yeah, she is more of a savage in this one, Gamora. I love the whole bit with Nathan Fillion. Oh my god. Basically, Mantis was calling Drax dumb or something because they almost get caught. And then Nathan Fillion was like, I have some of those guys too. I have this one guy who I just wanna and he looks at him, he's like, oh hey, you're doing a good job or whatever. I thought that was just hilarious. We all have one of those guys, so we all know one of those guys. You kind of got some stakes right there, especially with Drax. And yeah, like it was just good. Every location that they were in was awesome. And it was truly a funny movie too. Even when they came across other people, new characters, side characters, the interactions, the dynamics between them were all great. Also, forgot to talk about Groot. Groot is Groot. Groot is amazing. He's badass. He's a little swole this time around because my understanding is this Groot is the one from the first for the first Guardians' son, because obviously that one sacrificed himself and became a little plant again. So yeah, I guess that's his son. And so obviously he has to be a little bit different than his father. Vin Diesel, obviously plays him. He's more of a, like I said, more of a badass. He's basically lined up with Star-Lord. He carries his guns inside his trunks, inside his back. We finally get to hear him say something, and he says, "I love you guys." And so I thought that was truly amazing, because there was also a bit too where Gamora, she was saying, "I don't understand him. I can't understand you." And like I said, this is the end of the trilogy. And so at the end of it, once they defeat the High Evolutionary, Groot says, "I love you guys." To me, it was such a beautiful sentiment that we finally understand him. Us, the audience, is not just Gamora, but like us, the audience, we understand Groot because we are Groot. The action scenes were amazing. It felt like there was more at stake in this, but like the main scene, the main set piece that was awesome was once they saved Rocket's life and they put on their brand new comic accurate classic suits in the hallway scene with all the Guardians. And oh my god, that was pure beautiful mayhem. The Beastie Boys, everything just worked. It was the Brooklyn song. Everyone got time to shine. Everyone had their moment. The team working together. It was so gruesome. And yeah, this movie has its moments too, where they show a lot of body part scenes where body parts coming off, being ripped off and whatnot. It was pretty gory. And yeah, that scene was probably one of the best scenes in Marvel history for sure. At the end of the day, the Guardians beat the High Evolutionary. Like I said, the High Evolutionary was such a great character. I would like to see more of him. Right before the ship goes down, like it was so sad and heartwarming and emotional when Rocket, he's able to make it to basically where he was caged up his whole life, and he sees all the animals. First he sees the raccoons, and oh my god, like I said, it's so touching. I kind of feel there's something going on right now, because just making me think about that is it was truly like heartwarming, especially from people just being like that towards animals. It's a movie, but it happens in real life. It happens in real life. People are cruel to these animals just for the fun of it, and it's sad. And so in this moment, he's looking at the little baby raccoons, and he's getting teary-eyed, and he opens the cage and he's gonna get all of them out. And then not before he kind of stops and sees the rest of the animals caged up, and he opens them up and he saves them. He finally understands that he's a raccoon, because every time I feel like in the movies they've always said different stuff, like a rabbit, a squirrel, and I'm sure other names, but he's never known what he is. And so in this one, he finally understands that he is a raccoon. So he goes head to head with the High Evolutionary, and he's like, "I'm Rocket Raccoon," and just blasts him. He did have help from the other Guardians, but Rocket, he does the deed. He does the final blow, as he should, because this is his story. Bradley Cooper, man, I gotta give my hands up to Bradley Cooper. I hope he returns for more Rocket, because he is actually the head of the new Guardians of the Galaxy, especially for Secret Wars. He better be there for Secret Wars. And so, as I said, that this is the ending, and James Good said this is the end of this Guardians group as we know it. Their fates are Mantis. She said that she's always done what other people wanted her to do, like with Ego, and she never really had really known what she wants to do. And so what she does is that she tells them she wants to figure out what she wants to do, and so she goes off on her own. Drax saves a group of kids from the High Evolutionary, and Nebula's like, "You know what? I know what you were. You were meant to be a father," which is cute. But like I said, I just wish I would have seen that destroyer side of him first. So he's going to stay back in nowhere and be a father to all of these girls. And Nebula, she ended up being like the leader, or the person who's going to run nowhere. Kraglin, Groot, Rocket, Adam Warlock, and we also get a new character that I forgot the name. I seen it earlier before, but it's like a younger girl. They make the new Guardians of the Galaxy, and we kind of get a post-credit scene of them in action. And like I said, Rocket is the leader. Gamora goes back to Sylvester Stallone because, as we saw in the second movie, he was part of the Ravagers, and this one he pops up for a little bit too. But yes, so she goes back to the Ravagers. Not before a little moment with her and Star-Lord, which was really cute. She tells him, "I bet we were something, you know," and then he's like, "Oh, you would have no idea." It was really cute that she kind of maybe not remembered, but kind of felt something for him towards the end, but still separated. And then Star-Lord, Mantis had told him like, you probably have some family in Earth, and I think they brought up like family aspects a couple times throughout the movie. So I'm like, oh, okay, you know, they're probably gonna do something with this at the end of the movie, and they did. So he basically ends up going back to Earth to live with his grandpa. One of the other post-credit scenes was just an interaction between him and his grandpa. And I feel like they talked so low because I couldn't hear a thing. I don't know what they said. There's an end title card that read, "The legendary Star-Lord will return." The characters that are gonna stay around or that want to be back, I hope to see them again. It was a beautiful ending to all these characters, and this was such a great movie. Such a refreshing take because Phase 4 has been hit or miss. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie a 9 out of 10. Like I said, this was such a refreshing Marvel movie. We've needed it because Phase 4 was so lackluster. The Guardians is dynamic. Their interactions with each other were truly amazing. Rocket, the star of the show, you know, such an amazing character, amazing origin. And we got a really, really great villain in the High Evolutionary. We needed this MCU to return back to its true form. And so, what did you guys think about it? I mean, have you guys seen it? Are y'all planning to? Whatever y'all thought, comment below and let me know. If you haven't already left a like and subscribe, please do so. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of y'all, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.